Hi, thanks for joining. It's Patty from PS Paper Crafts, and I want to show you another card using some of the new product in the new annual catalog. I'm making this Thank You for Everything card, and it has this shimmer vellum that I'll show you in a second on the flowers and the leaves. It's so pretty. And it says, life is better with friends like you. So I'm using the Flowers of Friendship bundle. So there's the stamp set, and then there's a coordinating punch called the Flowers and Leaves punch. And I hope it's not too shiny, but there's a large and a small, and then the two leaves. So this is the back of it. And they punch out these flowers. I love the script on some of the sentiments. It's pretty much a thank you set of sentiments. I can't talk here. But anyway, I wanted to show you how to use this, and I also wanted to feature this beautiful shimmer. It's the In Color Shimmer Vellum. So every year with the new annual catalog, Stampin' Up! Has a set of new colors. They're called the In Colors, and they last for 2 years. So this year, I am just loving the In Colors. This is Soft Succulent, Polished Pink, Evening Evergreen, Fresh Freesia, and Pale Papaya. So one side, I don't know if you can see it, it has like a shimmer to it, and then the other side is flat. So I thought, well, let me make these flowers using some of this and then the leaves. So I just cut them down and punched them out. So let's get started. I'm using the Evening Evergreen, and I have to tell you, it's such a beautiful, rich color. I really love it. So I actually was making this card. Somebody had sent me a card, and it was a similar layout, and I was like, I'm going to give that a try. So I was trying to figure out which pieces I could have go across a card base, and I wanted to use this new Scalloped and Contours, and I thought I could use this one, but they were just too big. It just didn't fit across. So I was so glad that the Stitch So Sweetly dies are still in. So I used the third from the smallest, and I cut out the 3. And then the layer that I'm using above the card base is a little bit bigger than I normally use. So it's 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. I usually do 5 1/4 by 4. So I wanted to give myself a little bit more space to go across with these. So let's get started. I'm going to stamp right on the vellum on the shiny side, and I will be punching out, and I'll do the leaves for after I do the flowers. So let me get the stamp. Now, I had a hard time figuring out which direction the flowers fit in here. I think it doesn't matter, but for some reason I had a hard time. I've seen some people actually make let me just show you, a template, and then they put the stamp on here, and you could stamp both of them at a time. I'm only doing the large one, but you could just lay your stamp so it fits the template, and actually you would do it this way, so you can have your bottom stamp here, you could put your leaves on, all on one block, stamp it and punch it. So that's just a little tip for doing that, but I'm just doing this 3 flowers. I tried layering them. I didn't like it. I wanted something very simple, so I thought this was very pretty with these gems in the middle. So what I did was I put a little mark. This is where I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to feed it in this way. So I put a little mark here. So I'm going to stamp it this way and then feed it down. So this piece is like 1 1/2. I always measure the stamp to see how wide I need this, so I'm not punching through this whole big piece. So let's get started with our stamping. I am using Stazon because this is the glimmer or the shimmer paper, and it's vellum, so I thought Stazon would be the best thing to use. So I am going to ink it up, and it is a little like slick. It takes a minute to dry, and I'll stamp it right down. And I'm going to punch them one at a time. I don't want to go over the ink. If I stamped all three, I'd be kind of punching it with the ink that maybe wasn't quite dry. So I'm just going to put this up there, and I'll do it again 2 more times. So we'll ink it up, stamp it down. And that looks a little wet, so hopefully it won't give me a hard time. And let's see, I wanted to, I'm gonna cut this off. So I'm doing it the same way each time. I really don't know if it matters. I tried to play with it, and sometimes they just line up perfectly and sometimes they don't. So I figured once I got it right, I would just do it the same way over and over again. So I'm going to just let these kind of sit, and let's cut this again. We'll stamp it again. I hope I'm in camera here. And put this aside, and then we'll do the leaves. I already cut out some of the leaves, so you're not sitting here watching me cut everything over and over again. I wanted to really show you the flowers. So let's just punch this and let it sit. Okay, so let me get rid of some of this, put it aside, and then we can do the leaves. Looks like I have a leaf here. Okay, so the leaves, there's 2 different size leaves, and as I said, I punched some of them out already. So I have 4. 2 big, 2 small. I'm going to do 2 more. And what I did was I looked at the punch, and to be honest, the first time I did it, I had the leaf upside down. So you want to look, this is the small and the large. So you want to look how it's going to fit, and you want to punch it that way. And once I did one, or you want to stamp it that way, once I did one, I had an easy time doing the next one. So this is the last one I did. And I'll come right here and do this one. And then when I do the punch, I can fit it right in here. And you might have to cut the edge. It gets a little curled because it's vellum. And then you can just put it right in here, line it up, and punch it out. And then we'll do the small one. So the same thing, if you look at the punch, this one kind of goes this way. Sorry, this way. For some reason, I have a hard time with upside down and right side up with these leaves. So let's put this away. I'm going to put the top on, just so nothing falls in it. And then this one will just feed in. And it's good to have kind of a small strip so you're not wasting a lot of this, because this is a special paper. You don't want to punch up, you know, big pieces where you're losing it. So let's put this aside. Lots of little scraps here everywhere. Okay, so now we have our pieces, and what we want to do is, I was kind of surprised that there was not a stem. I mean, I could probably use one of these stems and mask it off and all of that. I just decided I'm going to use the Evening Evergreen Stamp and Write marker, and I'm going to freehand it. I'm not an artist. That's why I stamp. Somebody else did the artwork for me, but this I think I can do. So I just kind of did this. And I guess you could make one straight and one go the other way. I just have them all going the same way. And don't overthink it. Just do a little line, okay? And then let's put our flowers on, and then we'll put the leaves on. So with the flowers, all I did was take a little dot of my glue and put it right in the center, and you really couldn't see it. I think with the colored vellum, you know, usually vellum you have a hard time getting things glued down, hiding the glue, all of that. This I didn't really have to worry about. And then we're also going to put, oh no, I got a little ink here. Let me just redo this one. Okay, I'm back. So I cut another white, I drew another green, and I did another flower. And let me just give you a tip, because I think I know what happened. Some of them are a little bit, like this one has a lot of ink on it. I just hit it with my heat tool, just to dry it, or you could let it just sit and make sure it's dry. So I think I touched it with my fingers while it was still wet, and then I got ink on my fingers. So let's try this again. So we're going to put a little bit of glue, and we're just going to press it down, and we'll do each of the flowers, and then we'll do the leaves. And as I said, you don't really have to hide the glue on these. I was surprised, pleasantly surprised, that it just didn't show through. So we'll do each flower, and then we'll do the leaves. Okay, and the leaves, all I did was I did a big one, and I just put a little bit of glue down. I didn't do the whole thing, just down at the bottom. And then I did the little one. And you can lay them out however you want. You could put more leaves or fewer leaves. Make it the way you want it. So we've got one. Pretty, right? So the next thing we'll do is get our layer, and we want to stamp the sentiment at the very bottom corner so that we have the room for the flowers. So let's get that stamped. And I just went along the top to try to get it straight. I used the top as a guide, I should say, because it's pretty flat on this one. Thank you for everything. And let's do the inside while we're there. The inside sentiment. Life is better with friends like you. So we'll just put this here. And then I used this ink, and I actually stamped this on the inside and colored it with blends. I know with blends you're supposed to use the Memento ink, but I gave it a try. It worked out good, so I'm going to go for it again. So let me get a piece of scrap. And then I have my stamp mounted. I'm only going to do part of the stamp. And then I'll color it. I colored it with dark polished pink to match the outside. And I'll just quickly color this. Okay, and then I'm going to use the light soft succulent on the leaves. And the reason you don't want to really use these alcohol, the Stampin' Blends, with the water base is it will actually like smear the image a little bit. So I'm just being very careful. I don't want to go over it too much. You can see it picked up a little of the black in there, but I think it's okay. And let's put our card together. We'll put our adhesive or our ink away. And what I did was I kind of laid everything out. I always lay everything out first. So I want to have this on here, but before I put it down, I want to have the ribbon. But before I put the ribbon down, I want to get a guide as to where I want these. So let's see, where's my ribbon? right here. I love this ribbon. It's so pretty and rich. Probably should have put the ribbon down first, but that's okay. So we want to lay these out. They don't have to be perfect, but just a guide for where you want your ribbon. Okay, so that looks about right. I'm going to just pull it through a little bit. That looks good. Okay, and now I'm moving everything around. Let me get my ribbon scissors, and we'll just snip this. And so this is about where I want it. I'm just going to hold it down and move these guys off, and that's okay. So now what we can do is put some tape, and I'm just going to pull it through because it's longer on the one side. So I'll just put a little bit of Scotch tape on the back. And put some on this side. And then we can put this down. So I am going to use a little bit of liquid glue. It's a very tight, because this is a little bit bigger than my normal size layer. I just want to make sure I have enough time, and the liquid glue gives you that time to lay it out nice and straight and centered, kind of with an even border all the way around. Okay, so now we can put these guys on. And again, I lay out, try to figure it out. This one is very dark. I think I just put too much ink on it, but that's okay. Kind of lay these out where I want them. And I will put them on with dimensionals. So let me get this stuff out of the way. Get my dimensionals, and I'm going to put the middle one on first. And then we'll work from the middle to the outside. Okay, this is the last one. We'll just try to make it as even as possible, eyeballing it. And we want to put these beautiful in-colored jewels. I'm using the largest one, and this is the polished pink. So let me just get my take your pick tool, and this, to me, is what finishes the card. They're really pretty. They're very shiny. So you've got the glimmer or shimmer vellum. There's glimmer, there's glitter, there's shimmer. There's so many different names of things for the shiny stuff. Isn't that pretty? And then we can put our inside in. And again, I'm just going to use some liquid glue. And we're done. Pretty easy card. I love these flowers. I think they're really pretty. And I love this inside one. You could just put that across the front of a card and have a pretty card. And what you can do also, which I'll probably try, is you can stamp this image, so this image, and you can cover these with the small and the large flowers, so you're not using these. I think it would cover nicely, or you can just not ink it up, you know, mask them off, not get ink on them, and I think that would be pretty. And I love these across. Very nice. So these are the two cards. I hope you enjoyed this. Give me a thumbs up if you did. And hey, I just wanted to remind you, I sent out an email and I put stuff on Facebook that the mini catalog that ends in June, the end of June, June 30th, I guess, that is, the retirement list came out for that. So some of the products that are retiring are 50% off. So it's a really good deal. Some of the things you'll see bundled savings. So it doesn't mean that the stamp and the dies or whatever it's bundled with is going away, sometimes it means you're just going to lose the bundled savings of 10%. So if it says bundled savings, that's what that means. You could still buy the products, but after they retire, after the catalog retires, but you can't save the 10% once that happens. I hope that makes sense. So thanks for joining, and you guys have a good day. Bye.